So Alexander Wolf of Germany, the early leader in this men's sprint event. And what can Frode Andersen do? 2 expensive misses.
Well, he will shoot fast. I think he's got a slight lull in the wind. Still good time. Look, he's got a minute now from leaving the shooting mat to coming out of his second loop. And I think he might take the lead.
So he's taking a good 30 seconds off Rico Gross on every loop, which is an indication that Andersen is coming back to form, and also that Gross has got quite a lot of work to do before the World Championships. Now, Wolfgang Rottmann, he's been in some strong positions this year after the prone shoot and has thrown away opportunities of finishing in the top 3 on 3 or 4 occasions. Nice solid position in the prone. Minimal movement, and Rottmann clears the 5 again. So what does he do this time to change his mindset and ensure that he hits at least 4 of the standing targets?
Well, for the Austrians last week in Italy, Klaus Siebert, their coach, he had all 3 of his athletes, or 3 of his 4, were placed top 4, but they really messed up on the standing. They placed top 4 after the prone.
Could be about to see our first clear shoot of the day. Doesn't make many mistakes, does he? Rojkov is back to his best. He won, remember, in San Sicario less than a week ago, and he is the first man to go clear. 18:23. He's going to be way inside Andersen's time. He'll be inside Kruglov's at 17:38. He's just going to squeeze in there. Kruglov, Mike, has gone clear, as he's missed 1, in fact, and so has a lot of skiing to do now. The times, Rojkov 17:15, 23 seconds up on Kruglov, which is just about a loop. So those 2 Russians skiing at the same pace. I don't think we're going to see Kruglov close that down.
Hey, but the big factor is the shooting. Only Rojkov with a perfect shot. Kruglov missing 1, and then it's 4s and 2s in the other 7 athletes who have been through the stand shoot. Just an indication how the wind is really pushing the shots wide and moving the athletes quite a lot in their position.
Alexander Wolf coming in. We'll try and keep an eye out for the British competitors. Tom Clemens started number 13. Will be through both shoots by now. Could even be on the range at the moment. We'll just keep an eye out for him as we watch Wolf on his second shoot.
Very fast time. Look at that. 16:43. Ulrich shaking his head, scoping.
So 3 out of 5. Wolf doesn't look too impressed. Frank Ulrich certainly wasn't. Lost interest by the end of that shoot. Either not accurate enough or too slow. But that's not a good sign for Alexander Wolf. Needs to tighten up his prone, his standing. Now, what can Poiré do? 2 out of 2, 3 out of 3. Looks easy. That looked like a gust of wind, Mike, that hit just before that 4th shot. But either way, he's not going to get that time back. 2 misses for Poiré. He was 10 seconds adrift at the top of the killer hill, and he's in a bit of trouble.
He is in trouble, and Wolf is nearly taking him out on the penalty. Look, well, Poiré must be thinking exactly of last week. He missed 2 in the prone in Italy, and he's done the same today.
Sven Fischer may well have seen that going on. Sven Fischer starting number 45 today, and it's going to be a while before he comes in for his first shoot. Another 6 minutes or so, and that is good news, because if Fischer can win here today and Poiré outside the top 15, then the yellow bib is going to go back to the German for the first time since the opening 2 races of the World Cup.
Well, Lashenko's having a fantastic day. Only 48th last week, but this is potentially a top 10, top 15 result. There's Tom Clemens, just try and get his shooting after the second. He's behind Poiré.
Well, it has to be said, he looks just as easy as Poiré does, and seems to be keeping pace with the Frenchman. So Clemens skiing well. And we'll get you an update on his shooting in a second. 1-1, he's gone. 1 miss in the prone, 1 in the standing, so could be on for a personal best today. If he can get a top 60, he'll get a run in the pursuit. Mickey Grice, 1 miss in the prone. The ski time, Mike, almost quick enough to match Wolf.
Yes, without a doubt, Mickey Grice, he seemed to be tired in the 10-kilometre last week after his huge effort in Italy in the 20 when he took his first ever win, but he's back. Just need a couple of days, easy days, and Mickey Grice will fight so hard again.
Rico Gross coming in to finish sub 30 minutes easily for this 10-kilometre, 26.19. And those 2 misses, too expensive for a man who is not on his best ski form. Now here's a man who hasn't been selected for the Norwegian team in the sprint or the pursuit, despite the fact that he's one of only 4 men to have won a sprint race this season.
Well, and he's ranked 4th in the world as well in the sprint, so it's a tough selection decision to leave this man out of the World Championships sprint team, that is.
But the time is not as good, and I think his confidence has taken a bit of a knock. There was no pressure on Eckhoff at the beginning of the season, and things have started to go wrong of late. Now, he needs a couple of good races here in Pokljuka to put that right. Here's a man who knows all about the good and the bad.
Well, I thought he landed at a windy point, but he's doing so well, then he missed one.
That's quick. No time wasted by Sergei Chepikov. 1 penalty loop to ski for him, and certainly he's going to put a little bit of pressure on the likes of Kruglov, who's currently lying in 2nd place after his standing shoot. Igor Hieland, can he join Sergei Rozhkov with a clear shoot? No, he can't. Zimyanin coming in for Poland. It was a very good start for Zimyanin. He's into 2nd behind Rico Gross. Mike, how many have gone clear on the first shoot now? It's got up to 11 with Jano Prance through. Any of the latest starters coming up?
Well, Chepikov 13th, Eckhoff 14th. They're not making an impression on the early start times. Rotman we saw 14 seconds behind.
And Vincent Defrin also come through, 26 he started. He's gone clear, just 3.2 seconds behind Alexander Wolf, so it won't be long before Defrin comes in for his standing shoot. There you see the confirmation of the top 8 after the first shoot, just 21 seconds separating those positions. Further down, Gross you see with 1 miss, 34 seconds off, skiing 10 seconds or so slower than the fastest. Here is Vincent Defrin with an opportunity to take the lead away from Russia. 45 seconds to get inside Rozhkov. Well, a whole host of misses, and that one could prove expensive for Vincent. He's got 9 out of 10, 17.15. He'll be, at least 15 seconds behind Rozhkov, but a chance to get to slip into 2nd place ahead of Kruglov. So Defrin, on the whole, skiing pretty well.
And look at that, you can see the power, the enthusiasm, the dynamic action from Defrin. Well, he wants another top 5 position. Froda coming into his final 200 metres. 26.19, Rico's Gross, his time still leading. This is going to be very tight. Another 100 metres or so to go for Frode Andersen. Gets a little kick from that downhill ramp into the stadium. Now has to work his way up the gradual hill to the finish. Over he goes, 26.07. And we have a new leader, despite the fact that Andersen has missed 4. And he'll just have to wait and see. I'm sure a top 10 is what he's after today. But I don't
think the Norwegian coaching team would be too impressed with the shooting, though they have to bear the conditions in mind. Rojkov almost certainly going to take the lead away from Anderson. It's a very good time indeed. 25.29 for Kruglov, 25.01 for Rojkov. The Russians are on fire, and that altitude training they've been doing in Armenia has worked a treat.
It's so impressive. Week on week, this man can shoot well, he can ski well. On the top caption there, Rotman, he went clear in the pro and he's missed 3 again on the stand. That's a disaster for Austria.
Well, Rojkov with a potential winning time, just over 25 minutes. We haven't really considered him for the overall World Cup, Mike, but he's in 4th position at the moment. 434 points with Poiré on 574. If he can win today, that'll be 484, and certainly put him in the shake-up, although he's going to have to keep producing runs like this.
He certainly will, but there's still the World Championships where they pick up points, and also the final in Khanty-Mansiysk. Final World Cup.
Well, the established team members in Russia doing very well. What can Chudov produce? Skiing time is okay, 10 seconds or so down on Wolf of Germany.
Well, Chudov did miss 2 in the same race last week, but has won better this week. Came 15th last week in Italy. And you can say without a doubt that he's certainly trying to beat that today. So much power, 22-year-old.
Yeah, he's got a good future ahead of him. Still only one man clear after the first shoot, and remember, 10-11 clear now after the first shoot, so they're all starting to make mistakes on the standing. Number 50, Ruslan Valiulin. We've missed Sven Fischer coming through for his first shoot. We'll try and pick up on his performance. The news not good if you're a German fan.
Yeah, down in 20th place. He missed 1 shot, Sven, so his skiing's a little bit off as well.
And the best of the late starters in Group 1 so far, Mickey Grice of Germany, has gone through the first shoot with 1 penalty, but still very fast. He's in 9th position and the fastest of those to have missed in the prone. So Mickey Grice, if he can go clear in the standing, is certainly in a position to get himself into the top 3 or 4 positions. Alexander Wolf, 2 misses. Once again, it's the standing mic that's tripped him up. 57 seconds down. What does that tell us about his form?
Well, his form, he was very dynamic in the first 3.3. He really has faded, certainly in the last loop. But enough, I think, for a top 10.
Now, Poiré needs to hit 5 to ensure a respectable result. If he misses 1 or 2, then there's a chance he may not pick up any World Cup points at all.
Oh, he's struggling, but look at the self-discipline. He's trying so hard to keep the rifle steady and not release that trigger until it's ready, until he knows it'll hit. Yeah, he's doing well.
Great discipline from Poiré. I know it's cost him time, but he's got all the targets, avoided the penalty loop. That will give him a boost for the last 3.3 kilometres and will certainly get him a top 10 finish. But he's not going to win this one today. He's too far off the pace after that second shoot. But he must be concerned, Mike. What used to be so easy to him is now hard work.
And exactly here we'll get an indication of his time behind. 1 minute 5 seconds. Yes, he did do 2 penalties compared to Rojkov's time in his prone position, so his skiing is coming back. He's pushing harder as the race progresses.
Mickey Grice. I think he sensed an opportunity. That's a shame for Mickey Grice. Things have been going very well for him this season. He's ranked 7th in the world. The Germans really doing exceptionally well, Mike. They've got 3 in the top 7 of the rankings, and it's the old 3: Fischer, Gross and Grice.
the old campaigners, the old regulars. In fact, Mickey Grice was saying that his shooting felt so natural, he just doesn't have to think about it anymore. He can come in and hit. But you can say with certainty the wind was a big factor there for those 3 shots that he missed.
You've only got to miss a couple of times before that ceases to be the case, and the confidence gets knocked. Here's a man who's had exactly that experience. Stian Ekhoff, desperately needing a clear shoot to prove the Norwegian selectors wrong.
Ekhoff, one of the few biathletes who doesn't use any form of blind on his sights. None to the left, none to the right.
And he didn't need it. 9 out of 10 for Ekhoff. That's a great finish, and will certainly, it's going to be the best Norwegian result, unless Halvard Hannevold can come through and produce something special. After the first shoot, the best Norwegian, Mike...
well, quite a long way down. Sorry, after the first shoot.
We've got a Norwegian flag down in 13th. We've got one in 7th. Egil Kjelland, the best, with a clear shoot on the prone. 16 seconds off the pace. And Magna Thorliev running, also going very well in the top 15. Tom Clements still ranked in the top 30 after that first shoot, and with over 60 through that stage. That's a very promising run from Tom Clements.
I think it is indeed. He might secure a second Olympic qualifying time.
Well, there are the top 8, as you can see, all of them going clear. Kjelland in there for Norway. Lysenko, good run from the Ukrainian, in 6th position at the moment. Further down, well, we know Mickey Grice has made mistakes in his stand. Same applies for running of Norway. Picked up in some extraordinary positions in the rankings after the first shoot. Surprised to see Sven Fischer losing form. Frode Andersen quick, but not quite as quick as we would have expected. It really is the Russians who have come through in the last 2 weeks, but it has to be said, their training was all geared to doing well at the pre-Olympic event in San Sicario. They are not concerned, so they say, with the World Championships.
Yeah, I do believe that. They want to really experiment for the Olympics next year, and their aim was to be at their best in San Sicario.
De Fraat, 1 miss in the standing, but it's still a good time. 25-19. He split the 2 Russians. Rojkov still leads. De Fraat, France, 2nd. Kruglov now of Russia in 3rd, and it is going to take at least 9 hits to secure a victory if anyone is going to deny Sergei Rojkov, because he looks to be skiing as well as ever, and as we know, he has shot perfectly today.
Well, he is the only athlete to do so that have finished at this point. A great day for Japan. Hidenori Issa has finished in 7th place.
Hannevold with another good run. Great relay team member. Hannevold so consistent, did brilliantly in San Sicario to secure Norway's victory on Sunday. Blimey, they haven't had much rest when you think of it in those terms, Mike. It's a tough programme, but they have got a few days off before they head to Hofdorsen.
It is a heavy-duty programme, as Hannevold 33 seconds behind, but he can take a couple of scalps from here to the finish line. He's only 10 seconds to 4th place and 11 seconds to get 3rd place in this last 3.3 kilometres.
He's moved up 2 places on that one hill. 56 seconds down. It's reasonably close. What do you think he's capable of?
Poiré has closed a lot on Rojkov's time from the shooting range, so he could maybe place himself top 5 even for Poiré.
Fischer needs to do the same as Poiré in the stand. Oof. 4 out of 5. He's left himself with a bit of skiing to do. What is the time? He's trying to beat the Frenchman to close the gap, if not take the lead in the World Cup standings. But Fischer has got to go some with 2 misses. Poiré, remember, with just 1. And he's hunting. This is the sort of skiing that we're used to seeing on the last lap. He will blast round the last 3.3 kilometres. And his chances, still another 12 seconds to go before he's going to stop the watch. and we'll get an indication of where Fisher lies in relation to Raphael Poiré, who is heading down the hill for the last time. That was a close call as Fisher comes out of the penalty loop. 18-12, he's down in 10th, and he is behind the Frenchman, or just ahead.
Well, he's just ahead, but Poiré is really having a very fast last loop. I wonder if Sven can match that. At the moment, he's 9 seconds ahead.
He's got 9 seconds ahead, 2 places. Fisher is going to have to go some. Chudov, 1 miss in the prone. Very strong upper body, nice solid position for the stand.
Very big plate at the back of his rifle, mainly for the probe position. But it's going wrong here, badly wrong. 2 penalties, potentially top 5 if he'd cleared those. And that's how important these shots are and how difficult they are. He put everything into those 5 shots, but he missed 2.
So it's the Russians still in control, with Sergei Rozhkov leading as Stian Ekhoff comes up towards the 8.4 kilometre stage. Mike, 9,000 euros on offer for the winner today. An interesting email coming in from Jeff Platt saying, what happens to the prize money? Do the athletes get it? Do the teams get it? I haven't been rude enough to ask, but maybe you know.
Well, I do know how some teams operate, and if we remember Poiré's last win, he gave his to the Tsunami Appeal Fund, so that was his to give away. Maybe the French have a different policy. I believe the Russians give quite a large percentage to their coaching team and their technical team as Poiré comes in.
So 25.56, he's gone from 7th up to 4th on that last lap, and that could be a point saving or a yellow bib saving sprint to the line, because Fisher is going to be pressed to take many more places off him than that. But Fisher is the master of the quick finish, and I think he will be given splits on Poiré. He knows what he's got to do, and Fisher's aim this season now is to win the overall. He's done it twice before. Can he make it number 3 this year?
There's a lot of psychology in this as well. If Fisher, with missing the same amount of shots, if he can just get ahead of Poiré, you're right, he has the advantage. He will be given exact split timings. Poiré did, remember, take a long time on the range, about 44 seconds I think it was.
So after the second shoot, it's still Rozhkov who holds the top spot. 17.15 his time. Big gap ahead of Vincent Defrau, who has finished now in 2nd place. Stian Ekhoff fading a little on the last leg. Nikolai Kruglov 23 seconds off the pace at that stage. There you see Poiré in 12th. He's crossed the line and is currently lying in 4th place. Sven Fisher yet to finish, but was just 2 places ahead of Poiré at the second shoot. Further down, Mickey Grice, disappointing day, 4 misses. Ekhoff on his way down. He's completed the long downhill towards the stadium, breaks left towards the finish now, and 50 metres to go for Ekhoff. 25.19 to France time. It's going to be very tight. 4 seconds to get inside the Frenchman. Ekhoff takes it easily. 25.18. Nice controlled finish. He's descended quicker than anyone else. 17.1 off the lead of Rozhkov, but Ekhoff just saying to the Norwegian coaches, how could you leave me out?
Oh, that is so sad, isn't it? He's second today, probably will remain second, but not a chance to race at the World Championships in this 10 kilometre. Simon again, this is brilliant. Did it last week to 3rd.
Well, that's a very strong start, and I wonder whether his mind's starting so late in the order. All the top seeds going on. Here comes Chepikov, 1 miss on the day. Another good ski from the Russian colonel. 25.30, 5th spot. We got 3 Russians in the top 5, and they still haven't managed to win a relay.
It's quite amazing. Simon, 2 seconds, but remember, Wolf did start so fast. Let's just have a look how far ahead Wolf was, or 8.26. Yeah, he did have a very fast first loop. Simon has been on the World Cup tour for what, 8 or 9 years, and really is just now beginning to show his real potential.
Well, while we watch this, just an opportunity to say thank you for all the emails you're sending in. Our address this season, biathlonboys@hotmail.co.uk. Do send us your thoughts or any comments or questions you have, and Mike will do his best to answer them. One from Alan and Marion Hodges, wanting to know about the European Championships. Not scheduled to be on Eurosport, but they start today, and we'll try and give you an update on the results. A number of the top competitors absent from this round of the World Cup because the European Championships taking place up in Khanty-Mansisk.
Khanty-Mansisk, way over on the western plain of Siberia. This morning, actually, it was Aderov from Belarus who won the men's 10-kilometer sprint, head of Derezimlia from Ukraine.
It's a shame for Ulset. Big opportunity for him to make an impression. He's missed one, 9:11. He's not as quick. Anderson at that stage in 28th position, Mike, with 2 misses. And it's going to be interesting to see what Anderson can hang on to. Looks as though the shooting is getting better as the day goes on. Halvard Hannibal just coming in now. He's missed one only. He's not going to match Chepikov, certainly, but he could just squeeze inside Raphael Poiret's time, and that will be good news for Sven Fischer, who's still to finish. Poiret 25.56. Hannibal coming through. He's going to make that quite comfortably, and the Norwegian goes into 6th. The Frenchman down to 7th, and now there really is a chance that the World Cup lead could change if Fischer can work his way into the top 3. But is that a possibility?
Just trying to get his time. In fact, he's losing time out on the track. Sven Fischer, he's down 4 seconds behind Poiret now. Remember, so he had 10-second advantage when he left the range.
So he's lost 14 seconds on the climb back up the hill. That's
incredible.
That's I wonder whether he's taken a fall. Quite possible. Almost certainly.
Quite possible. Perner last week, we saw him in 4th position, coming in for a stand. Similar situation this week.
Rotman of Austria, Mike, he's another one who we missed his standing shoot on the second shoot.
It was 3 actually.
Missed 3 again, exactly as he did in San Sicario. I wonder what's going on there.
Yeah, put him down in 23rd. Here's Sven Fischer.
So, what's he managed to do on the descent? He's lost time to Poiret, as you say. He started 10 seconds ahead, but it's not been a good finishing loop for Fischer. We pumped him up so much, saying he is the best at the last leg, but he's failed us on this occasion. 1:01 behind for Fischer, and the yellow bib will stay firmly on the shoulders of Raphael Poiret for another race. Andy Bernbacher of Germany, can he do any better?
It's a very good ski time. And it's a great shoot.
So he's going to be behind Alexander Wolf, who was 8:26. It's going to take him 10 seconds or so, but if he can go clear in the standing as well, Bernbacher could be in for a personal best for the season. Out he goes up the hill. Great stadium here. They've built a lot of bridges, not road bridges, but track bridges to enable the figure of 8 format on the course. And also have a number of Loppet races up in these parts. Now, who in the Austrian squad is going to bring home medals in March?
Well, they have one problem from the 2 sports of shooting and skiing, and it's on this part here. It's the range. The shooting skills have let them down all season. They have the ski speed to win medals, and I wonder if the next 3 weeks Klaus Siebert will take them away and try to relax them and work on shooting, specifically work on shooting skills, because they can certainly win medals.
I wonder if they'll be calling on Walter Meyer to see if they can boost their form.
In the foreground, Mark Walker. And in the background, we're focusing on Kennard. Mark Walker's the British champion of the 20 kilometres.
Canard disturbed by a couple of gusts of wind, but he's limited the damage. Just one miss for the Frenchman, and could be a good run. Anything in the top 15 at this stage is very respectable indeed. 18:01 Wolf's time. He's going to be outside that. Remember, a 25-second loop to ski before Canard exit the range area. Welcome back to Pokljuka, well into the men's sprint here, and so far it's been a day belonging to the Russian team, 3 in the top 5 places at the moment. Sergei Rozhkov possibly taking his second successive sprint win. And as far as we can see, Mike, best shooting on the day for Rozhkov. The only man clear at the moment.
Good to see Willy Palhuber, 37-year-old. He's been on the World Cup Tour for 17 winters, 17 seasons. And trying, I think, to make a comeback to establish himself for next year, for the Olympic Games. And potentially, quite possibly, the best Italian today. Just looking at the track times, Patrick, Simon has gone past the 5.1 kilometre split, and he's taken a further, or he's taken 6 seconds actually, from the lead that Defran had when he left the range.
That's Simon from Belarus as opposed to Simon from Switzerland. Matti Simon started number 32. We haven't seen the Swiss runner feature. He's down in 18th position after the first shoot with just one miss. And we'll try and find out. 17th, in fact, an improvement of 1 position after the second, despite the fact that he's missed 2. So a total of 3 misses for the Swiss skier. But Simon of Belarus has gone clear, only the second man to do so. Now, what is the time? Rozhkov at 17:15 is suddenly going to find himself pushed down 1 place. Simon could be heading for victory. 17:06 the time. He's 9 seconds inside, but it's not over quite yet. 3.3 kilometers to ski, and as we saw from Sven Fischer, it's easier said than done to complete this course in a good time. Fischer blew out on that last hill, and I wonder whether Simon is going to do the same.
Well, I'm delighted to see Alexander Simon leading after the stand shoot. Only 2 athletes have had the perfect 10 out of 10 hits today, and number 73 is one of those 2. Third last week. He really is coming into fantastic form. He's had a lot of bad luck in his life with his family, so I'm delighted to see him leading so far, and it probably looks like he's going to, if he can hold on to this 9-second lead, that he could win today.
Well, he hadn't hit the top 20 before this season, so this really would be a bit of a shock result if Simon can hang on to that. 17:06, look at that, 9 seconds inside, 65, 70 metres the difference between them. In running terms, that's a huge margin. In skiing, though, if your skis are running just a fraction better, you can close that sort of time down with no problem at all. And the big feature on this course, Mike, is that long climb before you descend towards the stadium. And if you've blown out, if you've paced it wrong, you can lose 15-20 seconds on that one section alone.
Well, look at his power there compared to the athlete behind, who's 1 lap behind, if you like, so fresher legs.
Skis going well. Skis, they're almost running away from him. It looks as though they're so slippery.
Oh, I wonder what's going through his mind. Never been in first position before, leading the World Cup now with a late start number. Can he do it? I think he can.
He's got to stay on his feet. Tricky little corner as they come down this descent and then go back up the other side of the valley, but he seems to have negotiated that okay. Must save some energy for the final climb.
Oh, his skis maybe not quite as good as the athlete behind, although having skied 3.3 kilometres less, your skis will be gliding a little better.
This is the sign of a man who is desperate for victory, and he's working so hard. He's got that little hill out of the way. I'm sure the one big hill will still be on his mind, and has he saved enough energy for that? Failing to get away from Grigoriev, who's on his tail, the Russian youngster who's skiing well. There's the point that we're following. You can see what he's got to do round the 180-degree turn at the top of the course, and then comes the climb right the way up to that little notch, and then they descend into the stadium.
Well, you can see the profile, the climb on that hill. It really is severe. You get to the top, your legs are just screaming for oxygen, and you only get 5-10 seconds recovery down into the low point.
This is the sharpest of the corners. Needs to step round here daintily, but the legs are a little tired. Takes a good line, and Simon negotiates that okay. It's looking very good for Belarus at the moment. Sergei Roshkov in the stadium looking a little nervous. He's been alerted to the fact that there is someone hunting his time. Wolfgang Perner, 8 out of 10, 26-17, top 15 for now. That could well stay in the top 20 today.
Yep, that's good from Austria, and Perner once again.
Well, all eyes on Simon of Belarus. We'll just go back to the first shoot and check to see whether any other of late starters have come through. Bernbacher Mike, 81, started 81. He's up in 5th at the moment. We haven't seen it all. Here he is, right on cue, going through.
Well, this could threaten Simon.
Oh, it's certainly going to threaten. 17:06 the time Bernbacher's after, and he's got 8 seconds, 9 seconds. He's down the far end of the range. He's going to be slightly outside the Belarus time and level with Sergei Roshkov, who's on 17:15. Great shoot from Bernbacher. Could be the best of the Germans on this men's sprint event. 17:15, 16.5, just behind Roshkov. Good target to chase.
Well, that is unbelievable. The sun has come out and the range has become just a little bit more calm. The flags are not blowing quite as hard. A little bit of assistance to the tail enders today.
You can see how light the snow is, lots of powder on the top there, so the temperature just about perfect. I don't think the sun is going to affect the speed of the snow. It's certainly not going to melt the snow for another couple of hours anyway, by which time it should start to get colder as well. Simon going through at 8.4, Mike, the time difference.
Fantastic.
21:52. He's got 13.4, and he had 9. What did he have? It was 9 seconds. We'll just check on the time. 9 seconds exactly at the start, and so he's done great work on the way up the big hill. 4 seconds extra gain, 13 in hand, and it's pretty much downhill from here.
Well, it was Ekhoff who made such an impression from 8.4 to the finish, indicating good skis, so he needs to watch that out as well.
Now, we haven't seen the Americans so far today. The first to go was Jay Hakkinen, who's having his best ever season. Jeremy Thiele elected to go in the second group, and here we have Thiele settling for the stand. He's skiing, incidentally, faster than Hakkinen this year, but the shooting has been 10-15% lower.
Well, Jeremy loves this track, the profile. He did come 9th here at the World Championships. Very strong athlete. The wind is calm. He's rushing it.
That's a shame. That is a shame. A 5 out of 5 would have put Thiele in the shake-up for a top 5 finish, but he's got 2 loops to do, 300 metres to ski, and that is going to take him 45 seconds or so, but he will almost certainly be in the World Cup points, which is a good day's racing for Jeremy Thiele. Here comes Alexander Simon down towards the finish. He's got to work his way around the back of the range, a little extra to ski before he turns round, another 180-degree turn, and then back towards the stadium. It's always a little depressing to leave the finish, only to have to turn around and return to it.
And now he's got one more climb to get up and over before the finish.
Ekhoff is certainly going to move down a place. The question is, will Sergei Roshkov stay on the top of the table? 25:01, the time that Alexander Simon is after. The work rate is still good, but the timing is starting to go, Mike. This is really hurting.
This is hurting so much. I don't think Simon will ever in his life prior to today have pushed so hard. Look at him. He really is just focusing on trying to get his first ever victory in the World Cup. This is a steep climb, and he's using the all-powerful technique. He couldn't go up this hill using this technique after he shot, so he's really digging deeper.
Well, it was a big surprise to see him finish on the podium in San Sicario in the sprint last week. He finished 3rd on that occasion. He looks as though he's going to go 2 better today. Could it be his first ever win in the World Cup? We've seen Ekhoff do it this season. Hielander's won his first ever race this season. And here comes Simon. 100 metres to go now. He's just got to stay on his feet down this little drop. 25.01, the time he's after, and he's still got 20 seconds to make it. It's not going to be quite as easy as we thought, but surely he's going to do it. 47, 48, 49, Simon going for 25.01. He's inside, 20 meters to go, and the Belarus athlete goes top of the pile with a clear shoot, 24.55. My goodness, another 250 meters, and it might have been all different.
Well, that was a fantastic day, fantastic effort, but Bernbacher's still out there to try and catch him.